my name is Rebecca Powers with SLCT, and here is what's happening in Sterling and Lancaster. The new Sterling Senior Center is open and classes have already begun. Everyone in the town is invited to come down and see the new Senior Center. For more information, call the center at 978-422-3032. The Neshoba Community Partnership for Children will be presenting Discipline Matters. This lecture will take place on October 25th at 6:30 p.m. in the Florence Sawyer School Library. The Lancaster Recreation Committee will be holding a Bartlett Pond Dam talk on October 15th at 10:30 a.m. Learn about the history of the Bartlett Pond Dam and its removal in 2014.
I'm Lex Thomas, editor of Sterling Meeting House News, here once again with Dawn McConowitz. Dawn, you are one of my favorite guests because you're such a busy lady. We are heading into election time.
Yes.
And so that means there's an awful lot going on. And I know that the residents of Sterling, I certainly got this in my mailbox yesterday. I think everybody did. Why don't you lead us through this?
Okay, certainly. Thank you so much, Lex. It's always a pleasure to talk with you and also to give the voters some more information. The full information packet did come in this red pamphlet to all the voters, and it should be in your mailbox, so check it out. All the ballot questions are detailed in here so that rather than waiting on election day to read about what the questions are, you can take a look here and get all your information. So we also are getting ready for people who are out of town on election day, which is Tuesday, November the 8th, and they can certainly come in and apply for an application for an absentee ballot anytime. These application forms are here, they're at the counter, they're online, they're on our website, but someone who's out of town on election day can certainly come in and apply for that. I believe the ballots should be in sometime next week. This year, we kind of got some new laws happening in Massachusetts, and that's some new information that I did want to cover with you. And this year, early voting is happening. That is different than absentee ballot. The early voting is anybody can come in with no excuse, no reason, and just come to the town hall 2 weeks before the election, and they can vote early. There's no application required. They come here in person, and it's just like as if you were voting on election day. During office hours, come in to vote. And that starts October 24th.
Now then, what happens if you do that? What happens to your ballot?
The ballots will go into the vault, and they will remain there until election day when we process them through the voting machines. So everything is secure. We run it just as if we were running an election on election day. The other thing I did want to mention for people who have just moved to town or have moved within town is the fact that there is a deadline for this election, and that is October the 19th. It's
And that's the deadline for voter registration, is that correct?
Thank you. Yes. Our office is open until 8 p.m. that night to collect anybody who wants to come in, change their political party, change their address, come in, make sure they're registered, you know, get their kids, make sure their kids who are in college, get them registered. So that deadline is coming up pretty quickly.
Fantastic.
But a lot of things to remember.
Absolutely. Now, as town clerk, I know that this is such a busy time for you, and I just wonder if you would just let us know, what is it that, I know that you're busy right now. What is the process for you? Because I know it's complex.
It is complex, and thank you for verifying that, Lex. We start actually about 6 to 10 weeks prior to an election to start preparing. I have to make sure that not only our polling location is established, but we have to also get all of our workers lined up, get their schedules, make sure they can come and work, that they're not doing other things on election day. And now with this early voting, I have to make sure I've got workers lined up for those 2 weeks to come in and assist. We have to get the ballots. When they come in, we have to make sure they're counted, make sure we've got the proper ballots and not someone else's ballots from another town. All kinds of procedures. A lot of deadlines happen right now. We have, for example, the military. We had a deadline on Saturday to get all the military, their ballots out, and they're all done electronically. We also have to post information on elections, and there's certain strict guidelines on getting those deadlines out. So there's quite a lot to be done. So we are busy. But
Yeah, I think when people show up at the polling station, you know, you just don't realize all the weeks and months that have gone ahead of it, because of course there are all the debates and all of the campaigning, but then there is also all this kind of work that actually makes it all happen. That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Dawn. And we are going to be back with Dawn in a couple of weeks to talk about actually Election Day and making sure you know where and how to vote. Thank you so much, and I will let you get back to your agenda.
thank you very much.
Thank
Lex.
you, Dawn. Not only do we have so many incredibly talented people in this area, but we also have wonderful resources. I'm here today in Lancaster with Paula Kastner, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Seven Bridge Writers Collaborative, which is an incredible resource for local writers. Welcome, Paula.
Thank you.
Now, first of all, tell me a little bit about Seven Bridge. What is the Writers Collaborative, and how can people get involved?
Well, the Writers Collaborative, we're actually celebrating our 3rd anniversary this month.
Congratulations.
We only started in 2013. We noticed that there seemed to be a vacuum in central Massachusetts. In eastern Mass, you have Grub Street, which is a wonderful writing resource.
Yeah, I actually belong to that.
But here in central Mass, there's really not a lot. There's a great group of poets in Worcester, which is very vibrant and active, but not a lot of opportunity for writers to network and to get support. So what we did was, there's 5 co-founders, and we're thrilled, we just got our 501c3 nonprofit status a few weeks ago, so we are now an official nonprofit organization. But what we do is we offer a lot of opportunities for local writers to network. So we have writing groups that meet weekly for creative writing. We have critique groups that meet monthly, so that's people who have pieces they've already written and are a little bit more interested in receiving critical feedback on their pieces, that they can do that. We have Saturday workshops, the 3rd Saturday of every month here at the library. We've been fortunate to partner with Thayer Memorial Library. We also have here again on the first Monday, we have a Bridging Authors series where we've been bringing in a lot of marvelous writers to share their pieces and to answer questions.
Now, we'll be talking about that in a minute. For the moment, how many members do you have?
Well, we don't have members per se. We have folks who attend all the different groups, and we have over 100 folks on the distribution list.
Fantastic.
That we've accumulated over the last 3 years.
Now, how do people get involved? How do you get involved in this? Are there costs involved? Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, one of the things that we've tried to do, if you're part of Grub Street, you know that you have to spend a bit of money to do a lot of courses. And what we've tried to do is we've tried to provide as much as possible for free. And that's why the partnership with the Thayer Memorial Library has been wonderful, because we can use their space, so we don't have to pay for the use of space. And then what we've done is, now that we've become a nonprofit, we can get donations which help offset any fees that we might pay to writers who come in. We also have started applying for some grants to help with that. But what we do is we have a blog site. It's sevenbridgewriters.blogspot.com.
Actually, why don't you hold this up, Paula, because you've got a lot of information right on here. And so yeah, you've got your blog.
So we have a blog site, sevenbridgewriters.blogspot.com, which lists all of our activities, all of our events, tells a little bit about Seven Bridge, tells a little bit about the co-founders, and folks can go there to see what we're up to. As I've mentioned, people are also on our distribution list, so we send out emails letting them know what's coming up. We also use a lot of the local publicity. We send flyers to the local cable stations. We send blurbs to the local newspapers. And the town has been great at emailing our information out, as well as the library publicizing.
Now, tell me about the folks that come. What is the age span? Is this really for all ages, or what? what is the kind of average or?
We actually, we are available to writers of all ages and all levels, and we've actually have had students participate in some of our workshops.
Wonderful.
We currently, this is our second year doing a fiction writing course, which is a 10-week course that meets for 3 hours a week, and we have 2 7th graders who are in that with adults.
Yeah.
The writers are all levels. We have folks who are just starting to write. We have folks who are published authors and want to receive the benefit of that network.
And what about genre? Is it for any kind of writer, fiction, nonfiction, mystery, adventure?
Yes.
Yeah, the whole
all
gamut.
of those. We have folks working on memoirs. We have folks working on novels. We have nonfiction writers. We actually, is today Wednesday? So Monday we just had our first meeting. We're starting a poetry group. So
Fantastic.
local poets who are going to be meeting once a month
Wonderful.
and sharing their work. So anybody who wants to write is welcome.
Now you also have a couple of, or you have a very special event coming up as well. Why don't you tell me about that?
Yes, we actually, the third Saturday of every month, we host workshops here at the library. They vary in nature. Sometimes they're specific craft writing workshops looking at things like point of view or figurative language or narrative voice. But then we also bring in topics that are of interest to writers. So this month, in October, our writing group, we are bringing Ursula Wong and Dale Phillips, who are marvelous authors. Dale is the author of the Zach Taylor mystery stories, and Ursula Wong has written Purple Trees, and her second novel, Amber Wolf, just came out in July. But they're going to talk about the pros and pitfalls of publishing, because one of the things that we have heard is that writers now aren't sure about publishing because there's so many different ways to be published. You know, it's not just traditional publishing anymore. You have vanity presses, you know, you have collectives, you have do-it-yourself. You can do things, you know, through Amazon.
Well, sure, and like, I mean, back in the day, all that we had to do, well, it wasn't all that we had to do, but you would get, you know, your writer's market every year and kind of go through that, which was a laborious task. And so now there are just so many more options.
Yes, and a lot of folks don't understand what's the pros and the cons of each of those options are. So what Ursula and Dale are going to do are walk folks through it.
Paula, what is the date of that workshop?
It's Saturday, October 15th from 10:30 to 12:30 here in this room, which is the Dexter Room at Thayer Memorial Library.
And how do people get involved? Do they have to pre-register or what happens?
They don't have to pre-register, but they can. There is a form on the blog site for pre-registration, but folks are also welcome to just show up on Saturday if it turns out that their day is free.
Wonderful. Well, I know that I'm certainly going to look forward to that. Look it up. This is a wonderful writer's resource right here in Lancaster, Massachusetts, the Seven Bridge Writers Collaborative. And thank you so much, Paula, for joining me. This has been
Thanks for having us.
The Neshoba Regional School District needs your help to identify all children in the community ages 3 through 21 who may require special education or 504 services. If you are aware of a child who has or may have an educational disability who may not be known to the district, please contact the Special Education Department at 978-779-0539, extension 3013. The Conant Public Library is now offering passes to the New England Aquarium. You must be a member to take advantage of this offer. For more information, contact the library at 978-422-6409. The Sterling Municipal Light Department received a $1.5 million grant to build a battery storage facility. On October 12th at 10:30 a.m. there will be a ribbon cutting at 36 Choxet Road. This will be followed by a ceremony at the Senior Center. The Assipet Valley Master Singers will be holding open rehearsals in preparation for their November concert. New members are welcome. For more information, call 508-869-0438 or visit www.avmsingers.org. I'm Rebecca Powers, and that's what's happening. If you have a local event you'd like to see on this program, contact SLCT. SLCT is looking for more volunteers to help with filming and editing. If you know someone interested, have them contact us at 978-733-1139 or email slc.tv810@gmail.com. We'd like to remind you to find us on Facebook and YouTube.